We just want to let you know that once we finish this story, the I-Team actually got the opportunity to go out to Rockville, Maryland and meet with the lawyer who would have been processing Ms. Giuseppe's claims. He has since returned not just the $10,000 in the form of the check. So since this story was produced, a couple of different problems have arisen. The first being that the President of the United States tweeted out that the Supreme Court didn't like him. And since then, his White House has been juggling a couple of different narratives, one of them being the changes that they're making to their sustained immigration policy. Now, Mayor Muriel Bowser is planning to reopen the DMV. However, that date can be revised as long as we have 14 days of a downward trend. Like these are less likely to be open just as quickly as the rest of the DMV. 7 is on your side with some of the information that you need in order to get back out into the community. Hey everyone, happy Friday. I'm Ivy, and this week is a little bit special because we are actually going to talk to some students who were affected by the coronavirus. The Trump administration commented on this with Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany holding her first press conferences this week.
Kayleigh, if I could, welcome to the podium for the first time.
Thank you.
As well.
This is Miss Maria Giuseppi, a longtime resident of the district who immigrated to the area over 40 years ago. She's known throughout her building, has lived there for the entire time that she's been in the district, and often can be found sitting on her couch knitting, a task that at one time brought a smile to her face. That is until a few months ago, when she chose to visit the Washington Center for Dentistry.
I have an infection, and that I was one tooth infected, but then because they sent me here and there and there and there, it spread to another tooth. So I have 3 teeth infected.
Giuseppe felt the dentists were responsible and opted to file a lawsuit, but she needed a lawyer. Paul Wiesenfeld in Rockville, Maryland was ready to take her case, but it came with a high price. Over $10,000 in retainer fees and a family heirloom.
So that's the reason why I gave it to him, my Girard Perregorte, because I thought, well, these people are accustomed to a lot of money.
That Girard Perregorte watch, valued at around $40,000, was just one part of the problem. After months of waiting, Giuseppe contacted Wiesenfeld several times to no avail, and finally she contacted the D.C. Bar Association. They confirmed he wasn't licensed to practice in the district.
And what did he do for you?
Well, he called me one time and he said, you know, I am feeling sick, I need a vacation. Do you know where I could get money? I said, of course that I know. You need money and I need money because I need dental care. So work on my case, win it, and you have your money and I have mine.
ABC 7's investigative reporters went looking for Paul Wiesenfeld at his practice. And when they didn't find him there, they were hoping to contact him via phone or at his residence to find out what happened to Giuseppe's watch and the $10,000 retainer fee. He was unavailable for an on-camera interview.
Well, I want my teeth back. And I don't know if that money now it will cover for the dental care.
We just want to let you know that once we finish this story, the I-Team actually got the opportunity to go out to Rockville, Maryland and meet with the lawyer who would have been processing Ms. Giuseppe's claims. He has since returned not just the $10,000 in the form of the checks, but her priceless Girard Perregorte watch, a family heirloom that she hopes to keep in her life for a long time coming. As for right now, this is Ivy Lyons, ABC 7 News in Maryland. At the beginning of 2020, what America was looking at was the election. It was important to get past the impeachment at the end of January so that the country could heal in some eyes, and in other eyes, it didn't matter at all. That would be enough. That would be enough to restructure a country, but that isn't what happened this year.
We're living in a crisis. We're living in one of the strangest things that I've ever experienced. I remember talking to my mom about this, and one of the things that she said was, I asked her basically if anything like this had ever happened to her before, because I know certainly nothing like this has ever happened to me.
My heart is like broken for all of those seniors that are just, sorry, like, not, you'll get your diploma in the mail. You're not getting any type of recognition. That breaks my heart.
I've got my own little space in here. Could be better, but it's actually pretty nice. Plenty of people, they've got kids, they've got other responsibilities, and all of a sudden this curve is like really, really unfair in a way it's never been before.
These students are missing out on everything from the $1,200 stimulus to even their family's potential $500 reimbursement because they're not beneath the age of 16. But that's not all they're missing out on.
That's probably one of the most frustrating parts of COVID-19 is I'm not able to talk about like where I see myself going with peers and professors and help them and have them help guide me where like my career is going to go.
The legal community and the legal education community was definitely not ready for this.
It's tough. I'm just, I miss school. I miss senior year. I miss human interaction. I miss going out to dinner. But we out here doing school from home, not going to dinner, saving money, eh?
It's weird. They are waiting for jobs to call them back, and others are just downtrodden.
It just makes me wary of applying to places and spending all of this time.
Yeah, on every level, high school, college, grad school.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really look for jobs.
For me, I'm, a first generation college student, first in my immediate family to go to college. My mom and dad didn't go. And so because of that, everything that I've done, they've just kind of lived vicariously through.
And often these students feel like they didn't have voice, that they didn't have a way to talk about it. So are we missing a key group, a group of change makers? What about people of color who are disproportionately affected by coronavirus? Often people say they don't hear enough stories about them. Is this indicative of something more to the story?
So Femme Fatale DC came about before it was even a company. We had a party one day for Halloween. It was a women-only party, and it was because we just needed to create space for us to come together and have a safe space. And from that day, all the women were asking us, when is the next party? And we had no intention on doing anything else with it. But that after a couple weeks, we sparked something in us to be like, this is really a need, right, in 2016. And so we started, we came up with the name Femme Fatale DC, and then we started doing women-only events throughout the city. So once a month, we could find one of our events, and then in 2017, we decided to have our own space, to have our own events, because sometimes it was challenging to have women-only events. And then we also had a lot of entrepreneurs in our events, and we were like, why don't we have a store to support these entrepreneurs? So in 2017, we had our first pop-up. Again, it was something that we thought was a one-time thing, and it was so successful, and there was a need for it. So here we are, our fifth pop-up. And for us, it has evolved into an ecosystem of women, and so it's a huge community. And really, Femme Fatale DC, at the end of the day, we create space for people to test out their ideas, right?
Canine Caring Angels is a small canine training center located in Manassas, Virginia, which focuses on creating not just service animals and therapy dogs, but specifically training them to work with soldiers, emergency technicians, and firefighters in the area and around the world. Today we spoke with Sunny Matson, owner and operator of Canine Caring Angels.
We've had great success, and I love this. I love it a lot.
They've been thriving for the past couple months. That was until a contractor took advantage of them and their training staff.
I know that we've been getting a lot of calls for, people that are looking for dogs, and unfortunately, we don't have a lot of the space because we're relying on trainers like myself and everything, and we can only take in so many dogs at times.
After a construction accident, the low number of trainers that they have and the limited space that they have for dogs, Sunny Madsen spoke with ABC7 to make it clear that she cannot and does not want to turn anyone away from a service animal.
There's nothing worse than saying no. I've seen firsthand placing these dogs, the changes in the people's lives, giving them an opportunity to have a better quality of life versus not, versus staying in a basement and making bullets or giving up and taking their own life.
Canine Caring Angels is currently in the middle of a long-term fundraiser in order to raise back the money lost in that construction accident. As for right now, Sunny Madsen plans to continue training dogs and opening her services up to the area. Ivy Lyons, ABC 7 News, Manassas.